In this hardcore episode, I'm going to delete an entire biome from the game. Really sorry, Mr. Beast. I started work on this video almost 8 months ago, and in that time, we've done 5 other hardcore episodes. We're doing one of the biggest things I've ever attempted to do. We're draining almost 2 million blocks of water to create the canvas for our ultimate megabase. But to tell this story, we have to go all the way back to May of 2022, day 103 in this now almost 1,000 day hardcore world, as our adventure to conquer the ocean begins. There are 3 Elder Guardians in every single monument, and all of them prevent you from breaking any blocks, putting you in their domain on their rules. And we're not going to be having any of that. It's time for a battle. Time to conquer our new home. That was all done, we could go from bloodshed to block collecting. We needed sand, lots and lots of sand. It might be coarse and rough, but we're gonna put it everywhere, using it with sponges to destroy a ton of water. I filled multiple shulkers worth of sand and found a few extra treasures along the way. I mean, I'll take it. Okay, if there's enough emeralds in here, we buy the fish. We do not buy the fish. I said I would kill Mongo with the iron sword. I made a promise. I kept that promise. That little omen felt like good luck, which meant that it was time to move on to the next chapter of this story. With the Elder Guardians eliminated and me now being able to mine blocks, it was time to start on this transformation. We're gonna work from the center outward, and the first thing we need to drain is the monument itself. Let's get this done. Oh, we did it! The thing's in a box. Next step is to get, well, a lot more sand. Start making the grid and then draining this thing out with sponges. Let's go! Now that the monument was encased, it was time to drain it. I did this by setting up a grid of sand using piston pushers that would place and automate as much of this as I possibly could, using sponges, working my way down each of the individual chambers and drying them in the nether. It's the kind of task that puts you into this zen space when you're playing Minecraft, the repetitive thing that you do over and over again, getting incremental progress, the dopamine hit for each column, while understanding that the full project is massive in scope. And this took about a week, and is the kind of stuff that is perfect to do when you're on stream, which you can talk with people, enjoy, vibe with the community, while destroying an ecosystem. You know, as you casually do in Minecraft. And draining the monument is a great start and a huge milestone, but it's still barely 5% of the overall progress of what we're going to want to drain. So we have a lot of work ahead of us.
Welcome.
This was a time-consuming process. It took about a week's worth of work to get all of the water eventually removed. So when I got rid of that last final column of sand in the center, I definitely felt like celebrating. And with this right here, the drain is done. I'm so excited. Now we can actually that's the core drain. That's the main thing that we need to do. With the monument itself now converted into an atmosphere that I could actually breathe, it was time to scale up. So it's time to take another massive leap forward in time, going up to July of last year, where we determined the shape of what we were going to build and figured out just how bad I can be with redstone. Now the nether monument was 202 by 202, and we are going bigger this time. But it's important to know one thing. Circles are so last season. We don't want any circles. I don't want it to be a perfect shape because nature doesn't work like that. Unless it's a hexagon, but I'm not doing a hexagon. So we're going to do a much more normal, imperfect, organic shape. And that's exactly what we did. Now, some people have said that this is the corn thing from Rick and Morty, that it's Africa, that it's just a random blob, it's a face. But I just followed the contours of the ground underneath the ocean itself to make something truly unique. And talking about unique, our design for the walls, that one's a little unorthodox too. All right, now that we have our full shape, it's time for a proof of concept to make sure this whole no wall is actually gonna work. So let's just quickly do this and watch. It's gonna be magic. Whoop. And like that, we have a wall. And yes, there is no wall. It is the illusion of a wall. It is the thought of a wall. But this entire drain, if we do it right, is not going to have a wall at all. It's gonna be amazing. You're just gonna be able to walk into the water. It is a bit of, like a death hazard for fish, but we're not gonna worry about that because it's going to look amazing. Now we have to drain like over 1 million blocks of water or something, but don't worry, we're gonna make that easy with some redstone magic. And redstone for me starts by going to YouTube and searching, how do I make this thing work? Please, somebody else have figured it out before me. And thankfully, there were a few different designs that we could go with. Oh no, as soon as I built the machine, the water's filling back up. The first one I tried turns out didn't work anymore, or I had built it incorrectly. Second was a lot more promising. It did require me to build up walls of leaves and sand, making a regular pattern on both sides for the sweepers to immediately bump up against. It was designed before leaves were actually waterloggable, so that did cause me some other issues down the road, but eventually I had 4 sweepers set up to fully drain the space directly between the wall and the monument. And turning them on was a big moment. So I hit the button, and it didn't work. So it fires this piston, and then that, but then not that. So it never fires that bit down here. This bit is what's stuck. Learning from my mistakes and figuring out to always check the pinned comment for updates to the machine, I made these small modifications necessary to make sure that these could work in 1.18 and then started them going, doing manual draining tasks on the side while they were running. And this is now the core loop of the project. Man and machine tied together beautifully. Once the primary courtyard was fully drained and the wall was starting to come together quite nicely, it looked a lot more majestic once you're talking 20 or 30 blocks of vertical water. From there, it was time to make progress. I marked out a sawtooth pattern on the left side of the monument and then sent the sweepers back and forth, deleting the water and then working behind them, taking a copy of the hardcore world while I was busy moving house from one place to another, working on it on a laptop. So here's 12 hours worth of gameplay condensed down to 2 or 3 replay mod footage files. We put in the work for these hardcore episodes, and sometimes you don't always get to see it. And in these 600 some odd days that we've been working on this project, this isn't the only thing that we've done. Right around day 500, I finally upgraded myself to full netherite. We built a birch forest and an archaeology site. We built a slime farm. We demolished a slime farm. We built a giga beacon, a raid farm for infinite totems. And we're about halfway done on the next project, the one that you'll see in the video following this sometime in April. I've been very, very busy. So if you want to go back and check all of those out, playlist link is in the description, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on all of these. Now back to a more recent version of this map, and when I absolutely destroy a whole bunch of water.
Wear it like that, move it like that, like it like, do it like that, kiss it like that, making it fast, fast, bring it right back. Wear it like that, move it like that, like it like, do it like that, kiss it like that, making it fast, fast, bring it right back. Wear it like that, move it like that, like it like, do it like that, do it like that.
It's day 615 in the hardcore world, and here's where we start to turn a corner. We've covered a majority of the space inside the barrier and converted it from water to air. We're also putting work in to drain the actual center monument itself. Even though I had actually filled out all of the water outside of the structure at like day 115, I never went in and drained it, figuring that, I'll just get to it later, and I never did. Don't worry, we'll build an amazing guardian farm in there, probably at the start of next episode. But as we got to day 690, which we celebrated live on my stream, which I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, usually at 8 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you tune in, you get all sorts of fun spoilers. But we collected all of our coral reserves and started populating a little lake that I had left in the center, mainly because I didn't want to drain all the way down to -30 on the deep slate level. Be a hilarious thing to throw in the video. A throne for a chair. Gonna have to do this, break these there to there, slab on that side. It kind of works. I kind of like it. Having an underwater throne to rival that of my friend Mongo felt pretty good. And a quick pop through the nether highway to head over towards a warmer ocean to grab a whole bunch of coral blocks to decorate and add a little pop of color to this bottom little aquatic section. And if this is the first thing that I truly build for this space, that sets the bar pretty high. Look at that. That does look cool. Okay, the chair was a good idea, everybody. That looks so much nicer now when we fly over it. Having that little throne there. I'm so excited to start properly building now that we're approaching the point that this is almost done. In between streams, I was mainly doing the placing sand and listening to Taskmaster or Critical Role, or preparing for the next scenario, which recording starts 2 days after I finish this video. Wish me luck. But every block of sand placed, every sponge dried was one step closer to preparing my brand new home in this Minecraft world. And I have really big plans, an ancient, sunken, underwater city with technology, huge spires that are going to be coming out of the ground, a huge detail, and that is coming in a future video. So as the last few chambers started being dried out, the last bits of sand wall starting to fall, I'm celebrating with my chat. The camera isn't recording my microphone, and we are just getting hyped. So I'm gonna cut to the live feed. Red, I cannot change the lights right now. I'm on the clock. 3 to go. Here we go.
In Lutheran honor, and all hail the Sentient playlist.
Oh, we're gonna have to go fast. Ooh, it's close, it's close. Okay. There's no reason to go on. I think we can do it. Here we go. No, no, no. Hanging around in the Suffolk City. Nailed it! Yes! I don't care if I need to clean it up. We did it before the song ended. And with the project complete and our magical blockless wall holding back the ocean with just sheer knowledge of Minecraft mechanics, there's just one thing left to do. 12,000 sponges placed, 176,000 sand. Each sponge removes on average 25 blocks of water. Do the math, 1.7 million blocks of water removed. If that's not a world record and a place to build the most ultimate megabase, I don't know what is.